Well, yes. Mhm. Right. I wonder I wonder if you share. Whoa, that's weird. So also should have audio. So
Digital assistant by 2021. This is a steep curve, but we're already on it. We're seeing the adoption from our largest customers
um,
buying hundreds of licenses, thousands of licenses for Studio X and for the robot.
Okay, so clearly, as Brandon just went through, these major waves of personal productivity innovation, have come and really changed the way people work. And Robot for Every Person is the next one, as really the world is starting to see. But when we say a robot for every person, what do we mean? There's been a lot of internally here, just between us at UiPath, we've had this definition out here, and there've been different definitions throughout the organization. But we sat down, we brought the people who are really on the cutting edge of this, the people inside product and sales, the CSMs, the people who are out there talking to customers, and customers themselves and analysts, and we really looked at what do we mean by this, and this is the definition that we've come up with. A robot for every person empowers people, right? People to work smarter by using software robots that help them with everyday tasks. What's neat about the way that our product works and what we've seen there in use cases is that it can be simple or complicated. It doesn't have to just be simple tasks. When you start bringing AI in, they can get more complicated. But the point is that it helps people work smarter. The robots assist them with the everyday things they do that robots can do for them. The other side of this, and I think this is a really important part of this definition, and we've really seen over the last couple of months and year as Studio X came online, is that they can build their own automations, right? You have people out there, we're going to get into the definitions of who is building their own automations, or they can use the automations governed by their company, provided by and governed by their company. They don't have to be the automation creator. They just need to be someone who's using automation. That's part of a robot for every person. The COE can deliver the robots to the end user, the bidder, who may not be technically sophisticated, but they still get a lot of value from a robot handling their tasks. That really gives the people the freedom to focus on the human part of their work. And when you think about, on the personal level, how much value this brings to a person, then you also think about it from the company level. Just imagine, when you're talking to your customers, help them, bring them along and help them imagine what their company can do when they free their people from the mundane, right? They give their people freedom to work faster, right? They get things done faster. They can spend time on the more creative and higher value tasks that really humans are better at. They can collaborate more with their peers. They have more to that. And oftentimes the work is actually more accurate when done by a robot. So even though this is a personal productivity, story and pitch, it helps the organization greatly. And those build up into meta benefits for the organization. A couple of things that we've seen in the customers we've talked to already, they're excited because it puts digital transformation on every desktop. It when new innovations, new automations that change the way they do work are created, it's instant. They can deliver it to the end user desktop. It targets the real bottlenecks to personal productivity, right? I work differently than Brandon works. Although we're in the same team, we're in the same company, we do somewhat similar work. Even product marketers, we work differently. This helps people target the bottlenecks to the way they work, and you can't do that with a widespread general automation. So it really helps get that build on that. It gives the workforce the modern tools they demand, right? So people coming out of college, they don't want to do mundane stuff. They want that stuff taken care of them by technology, and you're satisfying the needs of this new generation. And it builds resilience in process and advance future economic shocks, right? The more automated your company is, the more protected you'll be in case we have other unforeseen events that really change the work, and it builds that resiliency in.
So here's an example of how we can start the value conversation. And it's a simple example, so it's important that you caveat it when you give this presentation to a customer. I like to say, I'm going to do some straight line math and show how the value of 20 minutes a day against a $35 per hour employee can generate large savings, $30 million. Note that we're not talking about cost avoidance here. We're not talking about employee satisfaction or customer satisfaction. We're going to talk about that later. So this is a nice place to say, this is just an example. We're talking about how that 20-minute savings can give you big returns. And later on, I'm going to talk more about some of the other value drivers that might be relevant to you in different ways.
Got to recover.
Coming off of the example, now it's time to open up the conversation. We're going to do this by identifying some goals that our customers and that your target customer has, how a robot for every person can address those goals, and what the results are expressed in some KPIs. It's important to spend some time with this slide before you present it. Make sure you go through, and even better is to have an example from your experience on how a customer has taken one or more of these lines and converted it into a success. One of the more common questions that I get is, show me examples. You've talked to me about the value, you've explained how it works. What's an example of it working? This slide starts this conversation.
Whoa.
I like to say that there are different categories of attended automations and a robot for every person scenarios. And here are just 4 from personal productivity, things that I would be doing regularly, doing the out of office example that you've seen from Bogdan, checking my 401k perhaps. These are all things that I can automate just for myself. Stop my day. We have scenarios where customers can save time merely by automating the logging into applications, which is trivial from an implementation standpoint, but very valuable when you start taking that time out. You have specific departmental activities, finance, HR. Every department has activities that are specific to that department, are only relevant to that department, and it's important to be able to show to different departments and show companies how those departmental specific examples can benefit them. Lastly, we have training and enablement. We can speed up the hiring process in HR. We can guide people through different instructions and learning paths on the applications with callouts and forms. So understanding the categories examples is going to help you, because you're going to be able to pick a category that resonates with a customer rather than trying to find specific use cases too soon that may or may not directly resonate.
And so, aside from just talking about it, let's see it in action. And so here's a video. Now, we're not going to play the video here on Brainshark course, but on this slide will be a video that you should watch, be able to talk to, and let the customer see it in action.
I see. Can you see it? Zoom. going on here? Make it bigger, zoom. Oh, I guess you can't zoom it, huh? Out of office bot. Whoa, that's cool. It's kind of cute.
Okay, so now that we've explained why this is hugely valuable and what it means to an organization, and we've even shown you what it looks like, let's talk about how to bring it to life. And much like any other transformative technology, it's not just the technology. It's the people, processes, and technology working together. So let's go through that now. Okay, so let's start with the people. So there are a couple of different types of people inside the organization that engage with automation. It's the consumers of automation, it's the creators, and it's the controllers of automation. Let's start with the consumers. These are your end users. These are the employees. This is actually the biggest population. These are the people who are not technically savvy. They're not going to build their own robots, yet they could really benefit from working with robots, right? They're going to work with automations provided to them centrally. And they may even suggest their own ideas for the work that they don't want to do, or the work that sucks, or the stuff that they just know could be done better by a robot. That's the first one. And then you have the creators, right? And we'll start off with citizen developers. There's two types of citizen developers. You got the self-users. These are technically savvy employees that develop automations for themselves. They're going to learn Studio X, and they're going to say, I do this every day, and this is my work and unique to me. No one else needs this, but I'm just going to build this thing because it'll save me an hour a day. Then you have the power users. Those are also tech-savvy employees. They're very similar to the self-users, except they also share their automations with their team. They're building it for their department. They're really like sort of the tech leader for their group, their tribe. And so they'll use Studio. They'll also use Studio to build their automation. They may progress a little bit further than a self-user with product they use. And then you have the RPA developers, and they're building the more complex automations that go company-wide, that may be more sophisticated, that are really determined by the COE and built at scale. And then you have the controllers of automation, which is your COE. And this is where the governance comes in. The COE centrally governs all the automations. And this is really important. Your customers are going to want to talk about this when they get to a robot for every person. You're going to hear it. So you want to bring this part in soon and let them know and make them feel safe and let them understand that we've built in governance. We're providing it for the COE, and we're giving the COE all the tools they need to govern the program and facilitate the company-wide usage of a robot for every person in collaboration with IT.
Now let's talk about some different approaches. Most people are familiar with the top-down approach. This is how unattended automation works today. You have the COE. These decisions are being made on what automations to prioritize and build out. The same is true for attended automation. The COE can prioritize, build, and distribute automations to those consumers.
All right.
Next, we have the bottom-up approach. This is our citizen or developer-led most of the time, and we'll talk about some scenarios in a minute. People are starting in Studio X, or they're starting in Studio, they're building something, and then that can be promoted up to the COE, or it can be consumed just individually.
A robot for every person.
The power of this model happens when these two approaches come together, and you have the top-down and the bottom-up. Top-down is focusing on corporate initiatives, governance, prioritization. Bottom-up is innovating, finding new scenarios, and those two working together gives you the best of both worlds. Next, we'll walk through a couple scenarios, and I encourage you to familiarize yourselves with these because this makes it real for the customer. We'll start with the COE-led. This is similar to classic unattended automations where the COE is using Automation Hub or some mechanism to prioritize their automations. The RPA developers are using Studio to build those automations, and then Orchestrator to distribute those automations. Finally, our automation users will consume those automations using an attended robot or apps or an embedded experience or another scenario where they are essentially interacting with the robots. Then there's the bottom-up approach. Most of the time, a citizen developer will start by opening Studio or Studio X and beginning a build very ad hoc. And at some point, they'll realize they have something there. Then they're going to move to Automation Hub. They're going to submit that idea. They're going to show the work that they've done. If the COE likes that automation, they'll take it. They may wrap it in some governance structures that they have. They may harden the code a little bit and then distribute it out via Orchestrator, just like they would any other process. And again, our automation users are consuming those in whatever way makes the most sense. So how these come together now in the hybrid approach, we essentially have our citizen developers starting from the ground up, having ideas, innovating. We have our COE that is looking after the corporate objectives, looking after governance, pushing us from top down. And all of these developers, whether they're self-users, power users, RPA developers, they're all riding the same governance rails. They're all deploying the same way through Orchestrator. And users are able to consume these automations no matter where they come from, making sure that they're consuming them from the COE, and the COE is making sure that that governance is in place.
Okay, and so now that we've talked about how to get it done, the people, the process, and technology, let's once again talk about the value it delivers company-wide. And there are 3 pillars of value. It's the cost savings and efficiency, it's the quality, and it's the satisfaction pillars, right? And additionally, what's great about Robot for Every Person is depends the dimension upon which you're delivering these 3 pillars, right? So you're getting value at the employee level, you're getting value at the department level, and you're getting value at the organization level. I'm not going to go through each of these, but if you think about satisfaction, for example, you have happier people, right? Happier employees, right? Your department is performing better. Everyone's getting more proficient and they're delivering on their departmental goals. And then at the organization level, you're driving increased customer satisfaction. And these are very similar to the common values of RPA, but put in context of the Robot for Every Person, it really extends the scope and dimension of the value delivered. And here's where governance comes in. We've mentioned governance several times in the presentation, but governance is not just one thing. It's a collection, and it aligns to the idea of people, processes, and technology, just like Robot for Every Person program. So, for people, you have things like, bringing HR in to manage the people aspect. They have the required skills by persona. Ensure, documenting and outlining who does what, just like we did earlier in the program. From a process perspective, you have the controls, approval processes, really have that robustness and best practice that, guides the journey along the way on automation. And then from a tools perspective, built into the product, we have monitoring, able to facilitate through Automation Hub, and really have the controls in place, things like blocking specific applications from being automated. Those are all the things that the COE really needs to have in place to ensure governance. And the thing, to remember when you present this, don't get in a rabbit hole here, don't get stuck. This is just to show that governance is a really important part of the program. And if they want to go deeper in this, just set up the next meetings, right? Defer to conversations with pre-sales, business consulting, your CSM, and professional services. Okay, and then so as you bring the conversation to a close, you want to bring back the meta positioning for the company around our hyper automation platform, right? Because a Robot for Every Person exists within the framework that we've developed and we've been promoting, for the last couple of months. We have the platform to help you discover, build, manage, run, engage, and measure your automations. And that all of those components to a Robot for Every Person strengthens our differentiation. So that if anyone else is coming at them and saying they can do what we can do with attended robots, or they have a governance, they don't have everything that we have, and you cannot deliver it to the extent and scale that we are able to do with all the governance, all the components that the customers need to be successful without the end-to-end platform. So come together, Robot for Every Person and hyper automation together, no one can deliver this. Bring it together that way.
Every customer or potential customer asks, show me someone who has done this. Sometimes they want to talk to the company. You need to be able to have a couple quick examples. And Ericsson has an incredible COE and way of selecting automations that extends well beyond just RPA, is also part of their digital transformation. But most importantly is the UiPath story. And even though it's small, it shows that we are eating our own dog food, drinking our own champagne. Pick your favorite analogy, but essentially we are consuming our own technology. We're learning from it. We're getting better. And here's where, if you haven't already, perhaps you should open up your UiPath assistant and show them how you are using automation on a daily basis. That's a very powerful story.
And from there, the next step is to continue the conversation. And the way to do that is to show them that we have the roadmap for making a robot for every person real at their company. They need to set the foundation. We can help them with executive visiting sessions. Find those executives that are going to support it. Help them with the strategy and design. Set up those meetings to help them do that, right? They need to establish their key processes. What is the value? What is the ROI model? What does business process intake look like? We can help them with that. We can set up those meetings to help them figure that out. And then in terms of building a path for growth, what does their citizen model look like? How are they going to roll out attendance? What does governance look like? What are all of these things that they need to figure out? We can be their partner along the way, and these are the next steps that you can take with them to get them going on the program.
So as we mentioned earlier, your ability to demo both Studio X and UiPath Assistant out of the gates at any time, anywhere, is really critical. It lends legitimacy to the sales conversation. It shows that you identify with the customers, and you are going to be able to talk more effectively about what this program is and why it's beneficial when you're familiar with the tools. This is just the beginning, though. We've got demos to set up for everything from apps to the embedded experience to our AI story. This is a launching pad into those other narratives as well, but you should be able to demo Studio X and Assistant at any time. Here are a couple quick links to that content, and as well, we've got a Slack channel for Robot for Every Person.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for listening to the course. Brad, links to reach out if you have any questions.
Right.
And let's get out there and let's make a robot for every person a reality in all your customers today.
Awesome. Let's do this. Quiz. Let's see. Which statement is not correct? It's only about Studio Boop. Yeah. Which is not targeting a criteria for a robot for every. Which is not targeting criteria. Sure. Let's try this one. A new customer or prospect. Which persona? All the above. Right. What is the difference between citizen and power user? Power users create task automation. Power users. Yeah. What is the definition of a hybrid approach? Yeah. Let's go. Which is not a listed benefit of robot for every person. Boom. Let's try this one. Fuck. I should want with them. Which all the above. Damn it. Select all that, apply. Let's do this one. Boom. Oh, assistant and studio. Yikes. I'm about to retake this shit. Which is not correct. Boop. Which new prospect? Yeah. Which persona is not part? Oh, shit. What was this? Oh. Yeah, all the above. What is the difference between... Oh, I think I got this one right, actually. Yeah. Oh. Yes. Scientific insights. All the yeah. Let's go. Oh shit. It was we just did the Studio X and assistant. Yeah, let's fucking go, man. Woo! Let's go. I'm good, homie. Bam. Let's go. What is next? Robot. Oh my god, there's a lot of products. Jesus. Automation cloud. Baby.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for this course on selling the UiPath Cloud Platform with confidence. I'm Jeff Anderson. I'm the Senior Product Marketing Manager for the Cloud Platform.
And I'm Tarek Madkour, and I'm the Director of Product for the Cloud Platform.
By the end of this course, you should be able to use the customer-facing deck to the UiPath Cloud and Platform capabilities, answer the most common questions that you will get during the presentation of those slides, explain our pricing strategy, transition and timelines, and know where and how to get additional help.
One of the most important slides in the deck is about the deployment options that we provide. Our goal at UiPath is to provide our customers with a flexible set of deployment options that suit their needs. It starts with what we have always provided, which is on-premises deployment. All our platform capabilities come with the ability to be installed on premises. You can install Orchestrator on premises, obviously the robots are on premises, and when you're designing Visual Studio, that's an on-premises application. Then we also allow the customers that are interested in taking that to the cloud some options where they manage those cloud deployments. So the first option would be to put that as a private cloud. If they have their own private cloud just for their company, they can install those same components on their private cloud. We also allow them to install them on a public cloud of their choice, but they manage those installations. So for example, a customer can go and use our connections on Microsoft Azure to be able to quickly create an orchestrator in Azure or to be able to quickly put robots in Azure. Similarly for AWS and Google or any other public cloud of their choice. And the last option that we want to provide now is adding that flexibility of actually putting it in a cloud that UiPath would manage. So the UiPath Cloud option is one where UiPath installs these components for you, manages the infrastructure for all these components, and all you need to do as a customer is just use them. So that's the last deployment option that we want to provide that full spectrum of you manage it 100% on your machines to we manage everything for you on our machines.
The next slide in the deck sets up the following 4 slides on the key value pillars of the UiPath Cloud. It's a nice summary that lets you land the key point that our cloud platform is designed to help our customers focus their RPA effort and spending on automation, not infrastructure, in 4 important ways. Firstly, with the cloud, you start instantly. So your first RPA effort isn't installing Orchestrator, it's designing and delivering your first automation package. Secondly, as RPA takes off in more capacity, it's just there. You don't pay for excess server capacity up front, and you don't have to wait to scale easily when you need to. Thirdly, you can simplify your IT. Whether you are small and have no IT but still want RPA, or you're an enterprise looking to reduce total cost of ownership, or even more commonly, you really need to get your RPA solutions built and delivered as quickly as possible. And finally, UiPath runs the cloud platform at such scale that we can offer the best security, privacy, and uptime more cost effectively than most of our customers can do it for their own RPA infrastructure.
So in terms of core value, you can concept in seconds, move to production in days. You can very easily deploy, update, and manage automations in the browser. It's the same UI effectively as Orchestrator on-prem, so it's already what you know, but there's none of the requirement for your own hardware and installation behind it. And so simple sign-up, reduced setup time, and automatic license management are three of the benefits that customers most commonly look for.
When it comes to scale as the other value of moving to the cloud, I think of that as a number of different aspects of scaling. The first is being able to add new tenants. So let's say, for example, you started with having some operations for your finance team automated. Being able to create another tenancy for your HR team or for other processes that you want to automate, an aspect of scaling that we make very easy for you in the cloud. You can just go in the UiPath Cloud platform, create a new tenant. Creating a new tenant takes almost no time at all. And then you can specify exactly which users you want to grant access to those tenants. And the most importantly is you can easily go and assign licenses to those and then move licenses freely between the different tenants. So being able to scale to having more than one tenant becomes really easy in the cloud. The second aspect of scaling is a bit more complicated, which is the one about having more robots. So now you're a customer that has 5 robots and you want to go to 50 or even 500 robots. You need to scale up the servers that you have to be able to handle that kind of load, right? And those robots have more connections, they're going to need more logs, they're going to need bigger disk space. You basically need to think about what infrastructure do I have and does it support that increase in scale or does it not support that increase in scale? With the cloud, you don't need to think about that at all. You just add more tenants, you add more robots to those tenants, you keep connecting more robots, we will scale behind the scenes for you and you don't even have to think about that at all. Now, the third angle of scaling that I think is important is scaling across different regions. We make that very easy with the cloud, where you can put some of your tenants in one region, and in the future, you'd be able to put other tenants in other regions. Soon enough, we'll make that very easy and very simple for customers, where we can be located across the globe without them having to think about different servers across the globe. So I think one of the most interesting reasons why people move to the cloud is that they want to not have their IT team worry about the infrastructure. And this actually comes in 2 flavors. It comes in the small and medium business flavor where they say, you know, I just don't have the IT resources to go and set up machines for a large server like Orchestrator and manage it and maintain it and make sure that I update it and do all of that. I mean, that's a lot of work, especially when I also have to do all the work to manage all the robots and all the robot machines. And then the other flavor that comes in is I'm a large enterprise. I do have a big IT team, but my big IT team also comes with big backlog of things that the big IT team needs to do. So when I go and talk to my IT team about adopting RPA and wanting to install those servers and update them, it typically becomes, well, we can put you in our queue. So now in 6 to 8 months, you can have that installation. And then when you have the installation and you have a new release like 19.10, for example, the IT team needs to manage the rollout of that release. So one of the really cool values that we provide on the cloud is you don't need to worry about any of that. For Orchestrator, which is what we're starting with in the cloud, what you're going to get is an installation of Orchestrator that is 100% installed and maintained by UiPath. We just give you the web address and you go to it and it's there. And we will maintain its compatibility with all the robots that you've connected it to. And on top of that, we're going to update it to the latest version every time that is released. And as an added bonus, we don't actually just update it every 6 months for you with like our big releases. We're actually updating it every 2 weeks with new value. So as a cloud customer, you are getting value every day.
Security and compliance are big questions for all customers, and rightly so. Think of this slide as starting the probably not concluding it, but know that there are many resources to help you with the questions that will come back from customers. We've designed the UiPath Cloud to be a trusted, compliant, and secure environment for automation. It's important to note that although we are just now releasing the Enterprise Cloud platform with support and SLA, we have tens of thousands of active customers on our community platform, and that's been live for over 6 months. And it's already offering core requirements like customer and data separation, encryption, and operating at massive scale with high reliability. The Enterprise platform is building on all of that live experience. And because we're built on Microsoft Azure, we are, of course, also leveraging all of their capabilities and design principles around trust, compliance, and security. We can also note that most of our cloud engineering and product teams have previewed on at least one of the world's biggest cloud platforms. We have hired the best to bring customers the best RPA cloud. One of the key differences between the Enterprise Cloud and the Community Cloud is that we guarantee business-critical outcomes. So we guarantee 99.5% uptime. We have 24/7 support teams with an SLA on the response time there too. Most or all of these things are possible for customers to do themselves at a cost. But UiPath frequently has the scale and the expertise to do them more cost effectively and quickly in our cloud platform. High availability is one great example. I love the high availability add-on. It's one of the products I market, but even its most ardent supporters will admit it requires multiple additional servers, Linux skills, and geo-redundancy just gets more complex from there. Our cloud has high availability and disaster recovery built in for no extra cost from the first minute you use it. Finally, we are working on a number of certifications. We aim for Veracode in December, ISO and SOC 2 by GA in Q2. Until we have those, we offer extensive information about our security design and practices to prospective customers through the security white paper and the internal security FAQ, which are referenced at the end of this course. Ultimately though, always remember, if lack of a specific certification or something else is a complete blocker for a customer, they can absolutely move ahead with Orchestrator, either on-prem, in the private cloud, or in the public cloud, until we have the certification they require. So let's talk about pricing. For the cloud platform, we're taking a slightly different approach to what we do on-prem because we want to respect the software as a service model that you pay as you go. So there is no upfront charge or SKU for the cloud orchestrator. Instead, you buy special new cloud orchestrated SKUs for the robots and studios you want to orchestrate from the cloud platform. These SKUs are typically 25 to 30% more expensive than their on-premises equivalents, and perhaps obviously, those are the only robots and studios that you can orchestrate from the UiPath Cloud. From a customer point of view, this maps their payments really closely to when they get value, which is great. As they run more automations, they get value and they need more robots, which is when they pay us. The key thing to know here is that unlike on-prem, there is no SKU for the orchestrator in the cloud. You pay as you go by buying those cloud orchestrated studios and robots that you can find on the price list. That's it. And just to avoid any confusion, the SKU model applies only to any robots or studios you want to orchestrate from the UiPath cloud platform, whether they're installed on local machines or in a third-party cloud. All other scenarios stay the same as they were. If you want to install Orchestrator on-prem or in a third-party cloud, you buy the Orchestrator SKU, and any robots you manage from that Orchestrator still only requires the standard SKUs, no matter where they're installed. The roadmap for the UiPath Cloud Platform is a bit different to an on-premises preview GA model because the cloud service itself is always being updated, and the only question is really how fast to add customers. The first capability we deliver in our cloud platform is Orchestrator, and we opened up our unsupported free public preview for that in June of 2019. Now, in December 2019, we've hit a milestone and we're at first availability. Don't think of this as beta. Think of this as us scaling up, paying fully supported customers in production with service level agreements, which is what it is. In fact, the only real difference between this phase and launch, or general availability, is that we are adding a smaller number of customers initially so we can ensure a great experience and close engineering monitoring for those customers, and then onwards and upwards, everyone gets a great experience through to launch. Then at launch, we will have 6 additional months of service updates, local Azure instances in Japan, and there will be no sign-up limiting of any kind.
And with that, I think it remains only to say thank you, Tarek, and thank you to everyone for joining the course. We're incredibly excited about the UiPath Cloud. We're excited to have reached first availability, meaning you can actually sell it right now. And certainly you can start talking about it as something that's out there, something that's live, something that customers are joining, a significant part of the UiPath story going forward. And happy selling.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right. 10 questions. Let's go. Shit. The no. I have to look into the downloads. Pull up the. Okay. Alright. So I have to look for the security certifications. Okay, let's see. Wish me good luck here. Security certification. Oh. Security. Oh, compliance. So we are working on ISO. Oh, SOC. Let me see. ISO. We Veracode. And then SOC. And CISSP. Alright, let's try this. Yeah. When a customer transitioned from standard robots to cloud orchestrated robots before their 2020th anniversary. Yeah. What? Sure. Let's go. What does first availability now mean as opposed to what? First availability. First customer do not have to pay for service. With full SLA. Huh. Yeah. Good. Which of the two following are stay? Oh, crap. Because customer. Sure, that's right. Oh, the first two customer cloud robots are more expensive because of the orchestration and decrease. Okay. I see. Let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, so cloud robots are more the first two. So additional capability, cloud orc, and decrease versus on-prem. Okay. What are some of the recommended strategies if customers are concerned about cloud security? Work, furnish them, boom. Oh. Search, up cloud, work with customer. All four? Yeah, all four. Updated monthly, true. Yes. Which of the following was not a capability of the first release? First release. Um, High availability, license management. I don't know, man. I'm guessing. Sure. Let's try this one. Cloud Studio. Shoot. Okay. Cloud Studio. Boop. If a customer wants to experiment with Enterprise Cloud, what is the recommended approach? If they want to experiment with Enterprise Cloud, they will be offered a trial. Okay, that's right. On the Q2 launch, the main capability of UA Cloud Q2 launch will be Q2 launch. So orchestrator, public orchestrator, license management, attended robots. Sure, let's try this. Orchestrator, license management. Okay. What are two specific core value prop of specific? Oh my god. Scale. I don't freaking know, man. Start and scale. Well, gotta redo this test. Wish me good luck. Orchestrator and license management. Oh shit. Attended, unattended. Wait. What? What? Are in the cloud. Okay. What does first availability mean? Capability, cloud, in GA, on-prem, decree. Do not have to pay for a service. Sure. Alright, so first avail, full SOA and support. Okay. Which of the following is not a capability of Cloud Studio? Boom. Yeah. True. Good memory, good memory. Which of the following is true? Cloud robots are more expensive because decrease on-prem, yes. And then Cloud Studio. Okay, let's try this one. Huh. Oh, the first two, shit. So it was decrim or more expensive. Wait, decrease because and additional. Okay, so this was it. Which of the following are true? Okay. Which of the... Oh yeah, I did this one. I remember it. Uh-oh, why is it making that noise? That's weird. It's overheating? Weird. Which of the two core start and scale? I remember this one. Okay. Yo, what the frick? Maybe it's too hot. What are some recommended strategies if they're concerned about the thingy? Boom, boom, and then boom. Oh, it was all four. Shit. All four. Son of a gun. Can they transition? No. Okay, just in case. Yes, before 12/31/19. Yo, that means this training is old, so if an enterprise customer wants to experiment with the enterprise cloud, what is the recommended approach? A website. Shit, I was so close. I got 70%. Oh, that sucks. Damn. Alright, I got this, man. Can they cuss? Yes, they can. What is boom, boom, boom? For people, oh. What of the following is true? Bam! Cloud orchestration. Boom! On-prem. Yo, I'm a freaking genius. Boom, 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 boom. All of the above. Yeah, freaking quick trick question. The main capabilities at the 2.2 launch are attended robots. I think it was attended robots. Orchestrations are in the cloud. Oh, thank God. Thank the Lord. Yes. Of an enterprise website. What is not a capability of the first release? Cloud Studio, baby. Yes, I got it. I'm good. Oh, snap. Am I gonna get 100? Let's go. Oh, crap. What was it again? Full essay support. Yeah, 100. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. Boom, 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 boom. Studio orchestrator. There's more stuff. Let's see what this is. Oh man. Let's see how technical this thing is. 20.
So what does your 20-minute investment in this course get you? First, I hope you'll walk away able to position 4 key value propositions for Orchestrator. Next, underneath each of those, you should walk away with key feature proof points. Where possible, I'll be highlighting the newer features from the team's work on the product in the last year. Thirdly, you should be able to identify key opportunities for Orchestrator, both in the cloud and on premises. And last, this will be a rapid value tour, so at the end there are some resources that you can use to go deeper. The most summarized value prop of Orchestrator is that it deploys, manages, and optimizes the UiPath RPA platform at enterprise scale, centrally and compliantly. So it definitely sits in the managed pillar of the UiPath RPA platform diagram here, but it's important to land that it will also unlock options and value across the entire platform.
Let's go.
The obvious example is that Orchestrator is how you govern building packages in Studio and running them on robots. But it does so much more than that. To give just 2 examples, Orchestrator is the data source and the user experience that UiPath Insights uses to do measurement. And Orchestrator is also the way that users can engage with long-running workflows, including from Orchestrator Mobile. One of the best things about Orchestrator and the UiPath platform in general is how it gives customers options, both for how to do things today and, if necessary, for doing things differently tomorrow without relearning and rewriting everything if their needs change. Here's a good example. You can start instantly and scale infinitely by getting Orchestrator as a service from the UiPath Automation Cloud. Or you can install it into a third-party cloud like Azure or AWS, or you can install it on your own tin in your data center. It's the customer's choice in terms of the benefits and costs of each approach for their specific needs. But whatever they choose, UiPath strives to keep the user interface and the capability consistent to avoid retraining. And importantly, we facilitate migration between them. So a customer who decides to install Orchestrator in AWS today will, for example, be able to move to the UiPath Automation Cloud in the future, or vice versa. So tactically, we give our customers multiple first-class deployment options to fit their needs, but strategically, it's really important to point out that UiPath is committed to giving them future option value to move without having to rebuild everything, because those needs may change over time. The UiPath Automation Cloud is the newest and simplest way to get option. For transparency, you can click that link to see the small number of features that we're finishing up versus on-prem, all of which we expect to have by the end of calendar year 2020. We support and develop our deployment methods as first class, of course, but it's worth noting that literally hundreds of customers have chosen the UiPath Automation Cloud option in the last 6 months to reduce their time to automation. So there's tremendous flexibility in how you get Orchestrator, but let's talk about why you would want it in your business. Why do you need a product that deploys, manages, and optimizes the UiPath RPA platform at enterprise scale? Here are 4 business value drivers for Orchestrator. I'll introduce the 4 of them, and then we'll drill down into each of them. First, Orchestrator maximizes the return on investment of your robots and your people working together. Secondly, Orchestrator delivers enterprise-scale RPA compliance and security. Thirdly, Orchestrator lowers the total cost of ownership of automation in the enterprise. And last but certainly not least, Orchestrator unlocks an open and extensible RPA environment. Let's look at some proof points. Let's look first at some of the ways Orchestrator maximizes the ROI of teamwork between robots and people. One hot topic and great example is citizen development, empowering business people to build the low-code or no-code automations that they need to improve their own productivity. Orchestrator delivers ROI for an organization from citizen development in 3 important ways. Firstly,
With personal workspaces, the user can write their application in Studio X, publish it to their personal workspace in Orchestrator, and have it appear immediately in their UiPath Assistant, along with all the other automations they've been with. You can see it in that top animation there. So their personal productivity increases from one-click access to automations they developed, and the organization benefits cumulatively from that, of course, no question. But for the organization, Orchestrator also unlocks a much larger opportunity to scale citizen-developed automation out. Orchestrator makes it easy to take that automation, polish and validate it further if necessary, and then make it available to anyone who will benefit from it. A platform that enables some level of individual citizen development can do that, by the way. And of course, Orchestrator means the organization maintains visibility on citizen-developed apps from a governance perspective, even while self-publications for users becomes trivially easy. So in just this first bullet point, we've maximized personal productivity, organizational scale benefit, and governance. That's a unique benefit of having UiPath's enterprise orchestration sitting behind your personal productivity tools. If I go into each of these in that much detail, we'll be here forever, but I hope the example also shows how UiPath as a platform is uniquely positioned to maximize the value of citizen development. Here are some other ways, though, we can deliver organizational ROI through teamwork between people and robots. Long-running workflows are primarily automations, and they alert users when they need input. Orchestrator Mobile, which is on iOS and Android, is an ideal vehicle for giving this input, but it also has many other features that you can access from anywhere, so it gets its own line on the slide further down. Predictive SLAs, service level agreements, mean that your...
Right. Whoa. Wow, people have been watching for an hour? Crazy. Alright guys, I think I'm done for today, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.